Hello and good evening once again from the Tully's on the Vestal Parkway location. You're listening to the Tully's Good Times with Coach Show. My name is Brooks Hill, voice of the Binghamton Black Bears. And to my right, your left in the restaurant, and also for all of our friends watching live on the Black Bears YouTube channel is second-year head coach Brant Sherwood. Coach, it feels like it's been a while since we've been back here at Tully's. Got a couple of new additions to talk about, not only on the ice, but some extracurriculars as well. But it's been a crazy ride. It feels like training camp was a year ago at this point. Maybe that is just for me. I don't know about you, but it's been a busy couple of weeks, and the Black Bears now in the full swing of things. 4 games in.
Yeah, flew right by, and now we're starting to get settled in and get into our regular schedule as far as practices go. But yeah, we're coming together at a good time. I think we had a nice wake-up call after the first weekend, but these boys need constant reminders, even on a Tuesday practice. So we'll keep tweaking things and making sure we're creating a good on-ice product.
Well, you guys talked about a lot in training camp about the team goals for this year, things that you wanted to improve on, all that kind of stuff. Nowhere in talking with you or any of the guys, anybody said our goal was to go undefeated, to go 56-0. Newsflash.
In my mind, I wanted to go 28-0 and carry that into this season after our 14-0 start. So.
Well, there's still...
didn't go as planned, and sometimes it's a really good thing to learn from your losses.
Yeah, I talked to a player, and that player will remain nameless afterwards, and they said, honestly, big wake-up call, and it's something that we needed. So the way that I was taught in growing up with sports, sometimes you learn more about losing a game than you do winning a game. And since the Black Bears lost the second game of the season, you guys have, scored 14 goals, got 6 points, and now getting ready to go into your first split weekend against different opponents with maybe a little bit of momentum that you lost after the first weekend.
Yeah, it should be exciting. I mean, we're facing 2 really good teams, and last weekend we came out flying, and we had a little bit more fire and a little bit more jump in our step, but Hudson Valley did not look like a good team, so we can't get on our high horse and get all cocky, because these 2 teams that we're facing this weekend are going to be really strong tests of what we got. You really don't know your true team until maybe the 3rd, 4th, 5th week in, and then you really start to see it coming together. So I'm excited to see the guys compete.
Yeah, I am as well. I'll have a unique viewing point for the games of this season. More on that a little bit later on in tonight's show. But you just mentioned it, that this weekend Black Bears are playing 2 different opponents for the first time. The first weekend obviously was home and home with Watertown. Last weekend was the same thing with Hudson Valley. This weekend, Black Bears will play on the road Friday night at the Danbury Ice Arena and take on the Hat Tricks for the first time under their new regime of leadership. And then also, they'll be back at home on Saturday against the Port Huron Prowlers at 7 o'clock inside Vision Veterans Memorial Arena. Now, I know that you guys are big in the film study, obviously. I think right now, do you think it would be fair to say that you guys are more concerned with watching film on yourself than it is pre-scouting opponents? Just for some teams, 3 weeks in, some teams only, their second weekend of the year.
So, yeah, the first week I could only show, clips of our team last year. But, yeah, you have to move forward, and you got to learn what you're doing this year. So we'll evaluate our past weekend tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., and there's going to be a lot of positives, but there will be some negatives that we need to focus on and tweak and work on our weaknesses. But we will do a pre-scout for Danbury. They're very detailed. I'm sure they're going to keep a lot of the same structure that Billy has taught them over the years. So I got some face-off clips ready to go.
That's good. Danbury, a noticeably good team off the draw with their set plays.
Big time.
Especially on the power play. They seem to get an ungodly amount of power play goals within 5 seconds of the puck dropping. That's just my unofficial stat.
They have really good shooters. So Johnny Ruiz is one you got to look out for on his one-timer side on the flank, and then Josh LaBelle likes to take a lot of shots up from the QB position, and even it's Chase Harwell. He's got a really good shot. He's pretty tenacious around the net, so they like to crash the net. They like to shoot, so we're gonna have to be in the shooting lane ready to block shots.
Yep, something that you guys have been able to do this year, and obviously it's going to be probably a high shooting affair on Friday night, and I'd probably imagine the same thing with Port Huron coming to town on Saturday for the home game this weekend as well. Obviously, with Hudson Valley this weekend, home and home, we were there in Newburgh, New York, led by Josh Newberg. Had to say that a lot of times this past weekend. Playing against the same team twice, obviously with the Jasso suspension for the Saturday night game. Thought we saw a little bit of a different play style from the Venom on night 2 than we did night 1. And you just mentioned that you were going to point out some of the positives in the film room. What are some of the positives that you took away from the guys this past weekend? Maybe not so much in night 1, but especially in night 2 when it was the home game.
Took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, we're not going to focus too much on night 1 just because the boys faced a ton of adversity before the game. But night 2, I like the way we limited turnovers and we held our ozone possession and we got goals in different ways besides scoring off the rush. A little bit of low to high plays with a good net front presence and really owning the puck down low where we're having 40 seconds to a minute of hanging on to the puck in the ozone. And that really tires teams out when they get chasing around like that. So
wears them down.
That's like, I was very happy to see that. That's Black Bears hockey as far as the offensive side goes. So hopefully we can keep building on that and control the possession and control the pace of play.
One thing that I noticed on Saturday night, and it doesn't show up in the score sheet, but you were just mentioning about it, how long you guys were holding on to the puck in the offensive zone. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was at least one time, I think it was during the second period, you guys were able to keep the puck in the offensive zone so long that you were able to complete a line change. I might be in the third period. One of those two periods.
I think it was the second period.
Okay.
I think you're right.
I love that. It just shows
film,
it.
Yeah, the film from the second period, we were in their ozone almost like maybe 15 minutes or something like that as far as possession goes. But, yeah, I was very happy with that. It just looked like us, and, hopefully we can build on it.
Well, I'm going to make a comparison here, and you give me the pro hockey players' insight on it. In football, because it is football season, they're always show a graphic on the screen about time of possession.
8-minute drives.
Yes,
10-minute
like
drives.
that.
Yes, where they're wearing the defense down and they're.
Do you think that? I think time of possession is a much more telling story in hockey than it is football because you have like offenses that can score in a 3-play, 4-play, 60-yard drive, things like that, and they have those explosive plays. With hockey, more or less, you see teams start to score the longer they hold on to the puck.
I love that stat. And
Okay.
It just shows that you can, have good puck protection, but also make good passes. So we seem to be connecting very well, but also what comes with that is gaining zones and not being one and done necessarily. So a turnover at the blue line, or you just get over the blue line and then you turn it over at the top of the circles and they're exiting out pretty quickly. You try to avoid those situations and try to keep it below the top of the circles. And usually you can expose their D zone if they're not detail oriented.
Well, I think you guys did a good job of exposing Hudson Valley's defensive structure on Saturday night. Friday night, obviously, was just a run and gun style. Probably whoever had the puck last in that game was probably going to win. Worth noting, did say it on the broadcast, you guys were never trailing in that game. Always either ahead or tied. Had a couple of ties, but no lead changes. in that one. And then wanted to give a special shout-out to Connor McAnanama, C-Mac, recording the third shutout of his career. Now the all-time franchise leader in shutouts. He passes Riley McVeigh from the second year of the Black Bears, who had 2 shutouts against the same team. C-Mac now has 3 shutouts against 3 different teams at his short tenure with the Black Bears. So we definitely wanted to give a big shout out to 72 for his play.
He was a really good teammate Friday night, too, on the bench.
Okay.
I told him to bring some energy and, get in some guys' ears. I think he got in 22's ear quite a bit, so threw him off his game towards the end. Same thing with our captain. But overall on Saturday night, he was just technically sound. He was in position, just in the right spot at the right time, and there was never really a doubt. I know he had a big breakaway save against Brant Parkway. That was a huge momentum swing for us. So knowing that we have that anchor in the net gives us a little more confidence offensively.
Well, stellar goalie play. Definitely a backbone of the Black Bears championship run last season, and it looks like McAnanama and Egbert off to a good start. Nolan did play the opening game last weekend, got his first victory of the season. They say the first one's always the hardest, so hopefully Eggy has a good performance next time his number's called. Looking forward to it as well. Just being able to say Egbert really fast and saying McAnanama 3 times within a 5-second span.
Don't let me do it.
Well, I don't know how I do it sometimes. So good on him. Let's talk about the special teams. Special teams power play seems to be clicking earlier than what it had been last year. Probably still not the numbers that you're exactly looking for at this point of the season. But what are you noticing, or what are you guys trying to work through right now, just 4 games in?
Just being one step ahead, especially with our flanks. It means keeping the puck close into their feet, making sure they're not getting stripped or exposing it to the middle, and those skip passes. So when I say skip passes, I mean not passing to the guy that's closest to you, trying to get a cross seam or trying to hit a low guy. So I just thought we were a little bit quicker. I thought our intensity was better. I was very happy with our power play. Obviously, Oliveri got his shot going, which, it's a it's a tough one to stop for goaltenders in this league. So if they're not singling him out or kind of shadowing him, we'll use him. But if they want to shadow him, there's other options that we can take. But overall, I liked our power play. I think we had a bunch of posts on that 5-on-3.
Yeah.
But I was very satisfied with the effort on the power play.
Well, speaking of Oliveri's shot, someone who did manage to block it was Tyson Kirkby at the end of the second period on Saturday night's game.
He's got a galaxy on the back of his leg,
Yeah, so I said it, Cole said it, and some of the off-ice officials we were talking to while we were at intermission break say, you think Kirby yelled at him in the locker room for that one? And I was like,
a little bit.
Probably.
I felt it from the bench. That was a heavy shot, and just right where there's no padding, kind of chuckled. But Tyson's a tough kid. Nothing really phases him. He had a sinus thing going on Saturday, but he wouldn't tell anyone. He wouldn't let his teammates know. So he's truly one of the best leaders I've been around.
It's a good captaincy with Kirby right there, especially to not let anybody know that, hey, you're not feeling 100%.
Played on a torn meniscus my first year with him.
Yeah.
That's always tough. I did that when I was playing in the Coast, and it's never fun, but you bite down and you do what's best for your team, and then you take care of business over the summer and get everything cleaned up.
Yeah, and you get rewarded by having Don Oliveri rip one into the back of your calf.
Or that, yeah.
So no good deed goes unpunished, but obviously Tyson out there on the ice looked really good today at practice as well. This week, you guys have the opportunity to obviously continue, playing well in the right direction. What are some things that are the messages to your team that you would still like to improve on? Obviously, 3-1 4 games in, it's a small sample size. Still have a lot of returners from last year, but what are some things that you are still trying to work through or maybe get the kinks out of everybody's system?
Just a little bit of everything. I'd like to see us hunting pucks better on the forecheck. I'd like to see our weak side winger getting a couple more block shots from the opposing D. There's always stuff to work on, and I think our first 5 minutes of the game could be a little bit better.
Okay.
Where we're not needing a wake-up call after the media timeout, like, hey, guys, let's get our butts in gear type of deal. So I really think just that mental focus, being ready to go for each game and not taking teams lightly and staying level-headed. Like, there's a few times last year we get a couple wins, and then you go into the next game thinking it's going to be easy, kind of like how we thought it was going to be easy the first weekend. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give them those friendly reminders that, you can't take any teams lightly in this league. It's getting more competitive each year.
My 3rd year here working in the league, and each year I can see that the league is taking steps forward. Teams are getting better everywhere you look. And now that we have 14 teams in the league, having to watch a couple more games or highlights, throughout the weekend, making sure I stay up to date on all things FPHL, you can just tell that, the style of play is almost completely different than what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, look at Watertown's forwards. They're flying around. Chouette and Blacksmith, he's going to be a stud in this league. You go down to Athens, you see a kid like Garrett Milan and Malik Johnson that are ripping around, scoring a bunch of goals, and then just any team can win any night. Like, there was, I think, 3 overtimes this past weekend with Columbus Monroe. Baton Rouge might have had an overtime as well.
Yep,
so
you're
it's
right. Athens and Blue Ridge went to a shootout the night one.
You just got to be ready to go, and that's how the league I was playing in was with the SPHL. Their first opening weekend was, I believe, 4 overtimes. So you got to be ready to go, and it's almost playoff hockey right off the start.
Well, I mean, playoff hockey is best kind of hockey. Definitely something to look forward to. In case anybody at home watching on YouTube notices my eyes starting to wander a little bit, it is because, they do have a National Hockey League game up on the television right next to us. And they just had a big heavyweight tilt go at it for a good minute of just throwing some haymakers out there. One thing I noticed when I went back and watched the last show, we didn't talk anything about the NHL at the season ticket holder pickup party. We just went straight into Black Bears.
I don't really have much to talk about with my Buffalo Sabres right now. Things aren't going well. We've been on a rebuild for a couple decades now, so it's been a tough go so far.
Well, the Sabres are in action tonight. Funny enough, all 32 NHL teams playing tonight, and it is a straight marathon all night long. So I was talking with one of the guys in the room today about the Hurricanes-Oilers matchup coming up later tonight, and a certain person wanted to give a few chirps my way about I was like, McDavid's going to get you guys like he did last year. And I was like, well, we'll just see.
Drysaitl's off to a hot start as well.
I know.
How are the Canes doing? I haven't been paying too much attention. 2-2?
2-2. They probably should have won in St. Louis on Saturday night. Didn't get to watch any of the games last weekend because obviously we were playing at the same time. But Gossespair said that he took 2 stupid penalties, and he's like, I think I'm the reason why we lost, which love a guy standing up and taking ownership like that.
We have some guys like that.
Yeah. Hockey players always blame themselves for the bad things, but always praise the team for the good things.
Yeah, Kyle Steffen and Blake Tosto. Blake Tosto came up to me today, and he talked about his penalty in the ozone. And, it's stuff you don't want to see, but it happens, frustration. And they can get underneath your skin. So you got to be able to battle those challenges or be a little bit more sneakier.
Well, hopefully my Hurricanes can pull one out tonight against the Oilers, because last time they played up in Edmonton, I believe the Oilers were up 5-0 in the first period, and that's when Brendan Moore famously told Darren Pang, he said, I think we might lose 50-0 tonight. and Darren didn't have any follow-up questions to that. And he's like, all right, thank you for your time.
I'm sure Panger's never seen that as a goalie either. Maybe in the old days, but here we go.
Oh,
Connect me on a breakaway.
Oh, wow, that was live commentating right there from Brant Sherwood. See, being at Tully's is so great because they got football on the TV in the middle. They got hockey on the TV on the left. We got our college football on the TV on the right. And I'm pretty sure if the Yankees were playing tonight in the World Series against the Dodgers, that would also be on one of the TVs as well. So if you're ever looking for a great family-friendly place to come grab dinner, a bite to eat, maybe have a pop or two, they also have a game room for all the kids that the Black Bears will be utilizing coming up later this year. We're going to have the first ever Binghamton Black Bears air hockey tournament coming up here at Tully's on the Vestal Parkway later on this season. So everybody be on the lookout on Black Bear social media for that. That was part of one of the big announcements I was going to make sure I had to make today. How's your air hockey game? Or are you a bubble hockey kind of guy?
It's been a while, but I'd take my chances in bubble hockey over air hockey.
Okay.
I get scared of the puck hitting my knuckles. I'm a bit soft nowadays.
Okay. I understand that. I play air hockey a weird way. So if you have the paddle,
oh boy,
instead of holding it up top like that, I actually
grip it with the fingers.
Grip it with the finger on the side. Like that.
That's an amateur move.
No, it gets faster.
You gotta use the knob.
No.
That's what it's there for.
No. So, who knows? Maybe you can take on head coach Brant Sherwood or myself in a game of air hockey or any of your favorite Black Bears players later on this season at the first ever Black Bears air hockey tournament. That'll be here at Tully's. More than likely, it'll be in one of our December shows. So just stay tuned to find out about that coming up in the next little bit as you come to games at Vision Veterans Memorial Arena. Very excited that we could talk with Mike and the people here at Tully's and getting that squared away. They were all for it. Some good activation for the game room as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Coach, before we let you go, I know that you have to scoot back on over to the rink because the job's never done. Anything else that you wanted to get off your chest? Anything you wanted to say about this upcoming weekend, things you're looking forward to and whatnot?
Just a couple new players coming in, but other than that, guys are always competing for jobs. I'm excited to see what we can do this weekend against two really solid teams. Obviously, it's always fun going back in the Danbury, my favorite place on the road, of course. So we'll get the job done there and then hopefully come back home and get the job done for our fans.
Well, we definitely will look forward to it. That is the voice of Black Bears head coach Brant Sherwood. We're going to take a time out, come back with more. Forward Cameron Clark will join the show, and we'll talk about his time at SUNY Mooresville, what it's been like, managing education and playing professional hockey at the same time. Talk about his days growing up in Florida. All that and more coming up on the Tully's Good Times with Coach show right after this.
Did you miss out on history?
The Black Bears are Divisional Cup champions!
Always make sure you have your spot reserved with Binghamton Black Bears season tickets. Season ticket holders can receive discounts, great added events, and so much more. Always make sure you have your spot reserved so you don't ever miss a second of Black Bears hockey. Stop by the third floor hockey offices at the arena or give us a call at 607-722-7367. Experience the new way to watch your Black Bears play all season long at home and on the road, free on YouTube. Hockey season is in full swing and the Black Bears are on the ice this Saturday, October 26th at 7 p.m. as they take on the Port Huron Prowlers. Get your tickets now at BinghamtonBlackBears.com or call the office at 607-722-7367. The next Tully's Good Times with Coach show will be on Tuesday, November 5th at 6 p.m. at the Tully's on the Vestal Parkway location. Join us as we preview Military Appreciation Night for the Black Bears and go in-depth about the matchup against Danville and Port Huron. Make sure to come on out with us at Tully's and have a good time with the Black Bears. Did you miss out on history?
The Black Bears are Divisional Cup champions!
Always make sure you have your spot reserved with Binghamton Black Bears season tickets. Season ticket holders can receive discounts, great added events, and so much more. Always make sure you have your spot reserved so you don't ever miss a second of Black Bears hockey. Stop by the third floor hockey offices at the arena or give us a call at 607-722-7367. Experience the new way to watch your Black Bears play all season long at home and on the road, free on YouTube. Hockey season is in full swing and the Black Bears are on the ice this Saturday, October 26th at 7 p.m. as they take on the Port Huron Prowlers. Get your tickets now at binghamtonblackbears.com or call the office at 607-722-7367. The next Tully's Good Times with Coach show will be on Tuesday, November 5th at 6 p.m. at the Tully's on the Vestal Parkway location. Join us as we preview Military Appreciation Night for the Black Bears and go in-depth about the matchup against Danville and Port Huron. Make sure to come on out with us at Tully's and have a good time with the Black Bears. Did you miss out on history?
The Black Bears are Divisional Cup champions!
Always make sure you have your spot reserved with Binghamton Black Bears season tickets. Season ticket holders can receive discounts, great added events, and so much more. Always make sure you have your spot reserved so you don't ever miss a second of Black Bears hockey. Stop by the third floor hockey offices at the arena or give us a call at 607-722-7367. Experience the new way to watch your Black Bears play all season long at home and on the road, free on YouTube. Hockey season is in full swing and the Black Bears are on the ice this Saturday, October 26th at 7 p.m. as they take on the Port Huron Prowlers. Get your tickets now at binghamtonblackbears.com or call the office at 607-722-7367. The next Tully's Good Times with Coach show will be on Tuesday, November 5th at 6 p.m. at the Tully's on the Vestal Parkway location. Join us as we preview Military Appreciation Night for the Black Bears and go in-depth about the matchup against Danville and Port Huron. Make sure to come on out with us at Tully's and have a good time with the Black Bears.
Welcome back into the Tully's Good Times with Coach Show. Want to thank Coach Sherwood once again for coming out before he heads back to the rink and spend some time with us here at Tully's on the Vestal Parkway. Friendly reminder, our next Tully show will be on Tuesday, November 5th. Same great time at 6 p.m. and same great place here at Tully's on the Vestal Parkway. As we welcome in our first player guest of the season, making his Tully's debut with us here on the show. It is Black Bears forward number 22, Cam Clark. Cam, thanks for coming out tonight.
Thanks for inviting me out, Brooks.
Absolutely. You know, it was a hard sell to the fan base to get you out here, but I'm really glad that they were able to lower the expectations and have you come out with us. And looking forward to a great talk here tonight.
Me too. I'm the one getting you views here.
That is for sure. No one's tuning in for me. So, in case anybody's wondering or can't sense the tension, me and Cam do like chirping each other. We go back and forth a whole lot while Cam's on the ice, while I'm in the stands watching practice. Here, come up to the office and talk about something that's going on and tell me about how I need to do a better job and whatnot. So it's a lot of give and take. We joke around a lot, and it's all for fun. But in all seriousness, Cam, 4 games in with the Black Bears here, you were one of the guys who joined the team late last season as the rookie collegiate players. What is your initial impression on this year's squad so far?
Obviously, we got a lot of returners, which I think is huge for the team. You know, chemistry staying. But I think having a lot of the new guys helps us out because you get to see what they can offer to the team, and I think they've had a lot to offer right now. And the new guys, they're just new characters in the room. You get a new feel for people, even though obviously some people have been let go, some people have been brought in within the first 2 weeks here. But so far, so good with the new guys, and I think it's going well.
Would you say the vibes are hot?
I'd say the vibes are hot.
That's good. Big vibes guy over here, Cam Clark, and the rest of his friends. Cam actually brought a lot of the players here to Tully's. They showed up to show their moral support for Cam, and they said they wouldn't miss it for the world. So big shout out to our other Black Bears players who are hanging out with us here tonight at Tully's. Now, a lot of those guys, also your former college teammates as well. So let me ask, and why don't you run through everybody who once upon a time was a teammate with Cam Clark at SUNY Mooresville that is also now a teammate with Cam Clark as a Binghamton Black Bear?
Ooh, so we'll start it back with, we'll throw it back to Somro.
Okay.
When I came in as a freshman. Obviously, I knew him. He went to school with me.
All
Great
right.
guy, loves hunting. Obviously, he wears a lot of camo. He was cool, loved him. Jesse Anderson, knew him for only about a semester or two because he took off, decided to go pro early while I pursued college and whatnot. Then we'll throw it to Motter over here.
Okay.
Christopher Mott, yeah, from the island. Also got a pro team in hockey, roller hockey. So check that out. Hitman, champion Hitman, on Instagram. Follow it. Anyways, he's a good guy. You know, does his dishes at least. And now we got Cade Henry. You know, he's a low-key guy. He's a Toronto man's, but I love him to death. He's just one of those guys where you got to really know him on a personal level to really like him.
All right, so is that it?
I mean, I think that's all I've played with here
Okay.
so far.
All right, so that was 4.
Yeah.
So
We
4
throwing
guys.
around the league or?
Oh, no. I don't have all night to be here.
Oh, yeah, I know. There's about
There's a
9
lo-
of them.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Mustangs playing in the FPHL. So for the guys who, you know, you had some time with back in the college game, now with you in the pro game, obviously want to wish the best of luck to Justin Somero and the Columbus River Dragons as they go into their second week of the season. We still love Soms, big part of the championship team last season. Got his ring before he went down to Georgia. So that was also a really cool moment when he came by the office and was able to get that as he made his way down south. So speaking of down south, I know you talked about it a little bit before with some other people, but you are from Daytona Beach, Florida. At least that's what it says on the roster. But you've been in New York for a while now. But where did the love of hockey come from, you know, being, you know, born in, I would say, you know, the deep south?
Well, I definitely wouldn't say it came from my dad, even though he's from Buffalo, because he wanted me a football star. He had me throwing the ball to him every day, of course, because that's what's popular down there. But there's a small place called Skate and Shake. It's like a little daycare area
Okay.
with a roller rink, which is actually what I started on. And just one day, just went there to daycare, was doing my homework and stuff like that, decided to throw on some blades and rip around the rink. And the owner was like, called my dad, said, hey, you should come check out your son. Like, he can actually, like, rip on the wheels. And I was like, okay. And my dad came down, threw me in a house program there, a youth program. And then after that, it kind of just built it. There's only one rink in Daytona. Every other rink is far away. The closest rink is Orlando, which is an hour away. So all our trips were...
You mean ice rink, correct?
I mean ice rinks.
Okay, all right.
There's one ice rink in Daytona Beach. There's an ice rink in Orlando, and everything else is 2-3 hours plus. So then got into Daytona Ice Arena. My dad actually helped me start or help the organization grow. So he built the team, got the players there. We actually ended up winning a state title. But it was never an intention to play hockey, actually. So that's kind of what happened, and what grew from it is it was kind of just an accident.
Well, it's a really great accident.
Yeah, it seemed like that.
Yeah. So when did I would say you obviously so you started with roller skating first.
I did.
Okay. When does ice hockey start to become something that you can actually see yourself doing, or like there's a future? But let's say before like you thought about, playing pro, before you thought about going to college and playing it, when did it actually become like an option? Was it 12, 14, being like, oh, hey, like maybe I can do this when I go to school somewhere, things like that?
Yeah, so ice hockey kind of came late, way after roller. Didn't start playing ice till I was like 9 or 8. So I was kind of a late bloomer with that. But I think when I was about 13, 14, this also plays in the part of going to Buffalo. But I think when I was about 15, we noticed, I'm all right. Maybe I should go somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't. But then me and my dad had a talk. I had an uncle in Buffalo, and we decided that would send me up there to obviously, play hockey, because it's way more popular in Buffalo than it is in Florida.
Yeah.
As I explained, there's only a handful. Well, actually, it's growing a lot down there, which is great to see. But just moving up to Buffalo, I think that's when reality hit. Like, okay, this is more of like a thing I need to pursue rather than like obviously I still have fun with the game, but it came with a more serious note to it.
Okay. When you decided to move with your uncle to Buffalo, did you already have something lined up, or did you move up to Buffalo thinking, oh, I have to prove it to some people now, and like I'm gonna find a way to make it work? Or did you already have a plan on, oh, I'm gonna play with this team and I'm gonna play with these guys?
There actually was no plan. I moved up. I moved up with my uncle. He lived actually straight downtown Buffalo. Had 2 tryouts set up, and obviously now that I live in Buffalo, I love it. Love the people there. It's a very tight knit community. Obviously, you see the Buffalo Bills and the Mafia. But I think going there, it was a pretty hard experience at first, because you're going to a new area, you don't know the coach, you don't know people, you're basically just hoping that they notice something in you to take you over one of their hometown boys. So as I went there, I tried out, I made the one team, and it was kind of a tough start. The guys, stayed in their cliques, stayed in their friends. I was kind of in my own little shell. But as that went on, I thought I was also taking online school for high school, which I didn't mention. So I was doing online school while I was playing with them.
Online high school.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal.
I bet you were top of the class.
No.
Oh.
No, I first day, they had me, they assigned me a bunch of assignments, and I said, Dad, this isn't for me. I need to go to school, like actual school. He's like, all right, well. So that brought me to a little high school in Batavia, New York, called Notre Dame. And it's only about 150 students big, which was a huge difference from Florida. I went to a school named Seabreeze High School. A lot of football stars came out of there. Shout out Charles Nelson at Oregon. Anyways, it was a very small school, and it was a huge culture shock to me. Had to wear a uniform, didn't know anybody. But I think what brought me to that, and what actually kept me there, was it was like a family. You're playing with these kids on the high school team. The teachers treated you like your own. And just being that small of a school was, I think, really good for my growing up experience.
That's good to hear.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. That's good to hear, because I think a lot of people, when they go from high school to college or university, that they experience a culture shock. Obviously, people get homesick. Love that you were self-aware enough to realize that, hey, this online school thing isn't really working for me. I finished up my college online. Really didn't like it a whole lot. Would have rather stayed, in-person classes. with a professor. I feel like I maybe necessarily didn't learn as much my last semester as college. My grades were better, but that's a different story for a different day. How come you chose Morrisville? What stuck out about the Mustangs program or the school that, was like, hey, this is where I'm going to go spend some time at, and this is where I'm going to pursue getting my degree?
I think a big thing had to do with how small the school was, and
Okay.
me going to a high school that was also small. I knew what I kind of was getting into with that everybody's going to know each other and everybody's going to get along. And once again, you're going to school with all the players and stuff. So I kind of had that feel already going to high school.
Okay. So for me, it was actually the exact opposite. I went from small private school to big public school.
Yeah, big ECU guy.
Yep, big ECU guy.
Go Gators, though.
Yeah, I've seen ECU and Florida play against each other in person in a bowl game. So that was a fun experience. Nate, how had that little connection right there. Have you seen anything that the Florida hockey team has done? They have a big social media presence. The Gators ACHA team.
I believe it's ACHA or AAU, one of the two. But I did see that they won their College Hockey South Conference. Something
Okay.
like that. They got a couple rings, I think.
Yep, and Ben Griffin Stadium is definitely a tourist attraction. Highly recommend you go see it, even if you're not going to be able to go make it for a football game. Just to go by the stadium, like I did, get out and walk around, see the statue out in front. Really cool experience down in Gainesville. Let's talk about some changes with the Black Bears and with you this year. Last year you come in mid-season. You play your games to get qualified for playoffs. You're part of the playoff run with Binghamton. They brings the Commissioner's Cup over to the Division Veterans Memorial Arena. This year, a little bit different. You're here from day one. You go through training camp. One of our questions that we asked fans for online is how did you balance, or how do you balance, still trying to finish up your degree last year, and then you still make it to practice, games, all that kind of stuff. How do you do the work-life balance with school and being a professional hockey player at the same time?
Yeah, so it was definitely tough. I think college has helped me with a lot of time management, but I'll just give you a rundown of what it was like. So Monday through about Wednesday, had a couple classes each day, had to go to them. They were in person. They took attendance, so I needed to be there. I let Sherwood know that. He was completely understanding about it. Was pretty cool about it because they knew we had ice in still. We were the only school that really kind of had ice in the SUNYAC, which is great for me because I was able to skate during the days I wasn't able to with the team. And then Thursday, I'd get on up at about 6 a.m., make my hour and 30 commute to Binghamton to hop on the ice with the guys on Thursday, skate, and get off right away, and then get right back in the car, go to my 2 p.m. class on Thursday, which I did take a couple absences for later in the year. And then I'd go back, do my class, stay the night back at Morrisville, get back up at around the same time on Friday, go to the morning skate, and then obviously the team took care of me, put me up in a hotel, and I'd stay through the weekend at the hotel. I'd obviously bring my homework, my computer with me, do it in the room, either before or after the game, whatever it may be.
Homework after a game.
Yeah,
Man.
sometimes. I tried to get it done before the weekend, so I didn't really have to worry about it, so I could just worry about the games. But then, yeah, I'd finish out the weekend, Sunday night, head back to Morrisville, and do it all over again.
And you are done, correct?
I am done.
Okay.
Got the degree.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
What is your degree in?
I have a bachelor's in business administration and a minor in criminal justice.
Okay. And after your career in hockey, what is it that you're exactly looking to get into? I would say in the real world. Hockey is the real world, but the next chapter of your life, what is it that you would envision that's your dream job?
I would say, honestly, right now, I'm just kind of focusing on the hockey aspect, but if I were to go forward, once upon a time, I did want to be a police officer, just like Mr. Christopher Mott over there. He has a degree in criminal justice, and I wanted to do that, but I had a boss over summer who was just chatting me up about being a firefighter, mostly because he wanted me to play on the fire department team, the hockey team,
yeah.
of course.
He was a good recruiter.
Oh, he was great. He had me every day pretty much the whole summer talking to my ear about it. So the only thing I need to get over with that is a little bit of the height factor. Don't know if I could climb up 20 stories to go hop in a fire building. But
I was going to say you're plenty tall.
Yeah,
So I didn't know that was going to be a thing for firemen. You're talking about, like, the height of how high firefighters have to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get that over. But honestly, like the way he explained it to me, it sounded like a great opportunity because you get to play on the fire department hockey team. You get half the year off. Like, what more could you ask for? You know?
Well, I don't know. One thing I can point out that when the Black Bears host the annual Hart Cup game between the Binghamton Police and Fire, that game gets chippy.
Oh, yeah. They don't like each other.
No, they do not. There's a lot of trash talk. 'Cause we got to go fire from the crowd. That's pretty funny. They're very vocal about what they think of the players on the other team. Some of the things maybe I can't repeat here at Tully's tonight. But highly recommend that everybody comes out to the Hart Cup later on this season between Binghamton Fire and Binghamton Police. Definitely worth the price of admission. A great show on the ice. It's a prequel to the Black Bears game later on that night for First Responder Night. And I think it will be an eye-opening event. If you've never seen a police and fire charity game before, it's definitely exciting. So looks like Cam Clark is still a little bit on the fence about what side he's going to join and then what on the future path. Love the answer, though. You're just focused on the pro hockey side of things right now. That's
Exactly. You got to be. You want it again, right?
Yeah.
You got to bring it back to Binghamton.
You got some media training in you. I can tell a little bit that you know the right things to say and give the right team answers. So that was one of our fan questions on how to balance everything. Do you see yourself ever going back to school, or are you done with the books?
I'm going to be honest with you. I did my 4 years.
Yes. Okay. That's exactly the same way I felt. I think my parents wanted me to go back for another 2. I said, I think 4 is good.
Yep, 4 is enough.
And I don't think the grad school program would have gone really well for my student habits. Last question about school. You mentioned you had a lot of classes that you were there in person, take attendance. Where does Cam Clark sit in a classroom? In the front, in the middle, in the back, by the door, by the teacher?
So
Aisle seat?
I was always a very, very good student, I would say, at sitting in the front. I was always a front guy because you know why? You got to pay attention if you want to. Like, you got to have your grades if you want to play the sport. So you got to take care of the academics if you want to play the hockey in high school or college.
Good answer. Good answer. I didn't have to worry about maintaining academic integrity with the NCAA, that kind of stuff. I was a front student for another purpose of I was not the best studier once I was out of class, and that's fully honest. I think that's not a secret to my parents watching at home or anything like that. They can't take my degree back now, so secret's out. But I felt that if I was there in person and I was sitting in the front 2 rows, I would listen more while I was there, and I would still take notes and write them, so I'd have that muscle memory of I remember them talking about it. Be the first person to say was not the best at rereading those notes once I wrote them down one time. And I was a very big turn paper in day of kind of guy.
That was me. I had everything to it. Obviously, when I had to go to Binghamton, too, I had a whole schedule. I would make sure to get everything done Thursday, at least. But if I couldn't, then I'd sit in the hotel room for the whole day and do it before the game.
I was a very big. If I have an 11 a.m. class.
Oh, 11. That's not even early.
No, but this is going to get better. So let's say I had a 5-page paper due at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Once or twice, I might have been in the library at 6 a.m. starting the paper.
I'll be honest with you. I hope none of my teachers are listening to this. I had a 40-page paper due. I didn't start it till about 3 weeks before, 2 weeks before.
Well, you know.
But did I complete it? Yes, I did.
Here we are. They didn't get us.
They didn't get us.
We were able to overcome it. That's I promise. That's the last question I'm going to ask about school because I don't want to incriminate myself any further, especially because my mom was a teacher once upon a time ago.
Yeah, you and me both, right?
So it's was not looking the hottest there for a minute, but we battled back. Started off slow freshman year, graduated on the honor roll. It's not about how you start; it's about how you finish.
Exactly.
So, speaking of how you finish, this past weekend, Saturday night's game, out of the 4 that I've seen so far, I would say that best game that you guys have played as a team this past Saturday against the Venom. What is it like starting day 1, going through training camp, and being here, day in, day out, not having to commute back and forth back to Mooresville and things like that? Where do you see the differences maybe in, your game that you really weren't seeing last year when you were having that small stint at the end of the regular season?
Yeah, so I think it's 2 things. Obviously, the drive. Don't want to drive 3 hours.
Okay.
3 hours every time I have to come here to play a game. But,
Step 1.
I would say the biggest thing to me is just spending time in the locker room with the guys. I don't need to get undressed. I don't need to rush to class. I don't have homework to do. I can actually spend time there, get my lifts in, do rehab, whatever the case may be. But it's just kind of that quality time with the guys that people sometimes take for granted.
I think taking things for granted is a very, very emotional thing because it makes you think about the good old days. It's like, have you seen The Office?
I have.
Okay, so you know where I'm going with this. So, like,
I do.
When Ed Helms' character, says in the finale, I wish there was a way to know that you're in the good old days before you leave them.
Before you leave them, exactly.
I think about that quote at least like once a month. Not taking anything for granted. Being here, in New York. I would have never thought 4 years ago, while I was still in school and playing club lacrosse, is like, oh, I'm gonna see myself. I'm gonna be in New York.
Yeah, you definitely didn't see that one.
No, didn't see that one coming. That was the curveball. That was like a Kershaw 12-6 that just fell off the table. And now I'm here, in 3rd season in. And
you met me.
Exactly.
You met me, exactly.
I mean, look, you came from Florida. I came from North Carolina. Like, you got 2 Southern boys up here in upstate New York, talking about hockey, and then one living hockey. So it's pretty interesting to see. Cam, appreciate the time here tonight. You did a great job. Of course. Better than most people anticipated here tonight here at Tully's Good Times.
Better than what you anticipated?
No, never. Absolutely not. That is the voice of Black Bears forward Cam Clark. You can see him in action on Friday night as the Black Bears take on the Danbury Hat Tricks at the Danbury Ice Arena. That puck drop will be at Friday at 7:30. You can also see Cam in person Saturday night as the Black Bears host the Port Huron Prowlers for the first time this season. We're going to take a quick timeout, come back, wrap up the show, and get you ready for this weekend. So don't go anywhere. More coming up right after this.
Did you miss out on history?
The Black Bears are Divisional Cup champions!
Always make sure you have your spot reserved with Binghamton Black Bears season tickets. Season ticket holders can receive discounts, great added events, and so much more. Always make sure you have your spot reserved so you don't ever miss a second of Black Bears hockey. Stop by the 3rd floor hockey offices at the arena or give us a call at 607-722-7367. Experience the new way to watch your Black Bears play all season long, at home and on the road, free on YouTube. Hockey season is in full swing and the Black Bears are on the ice this Saturday, October 26th at 7 p.m. as they take on the Port Huron Prowlers. Get your tickets now at BinghamtonBlackBears.com or call the office at 607-722-7367.
The next Tully's Good Times with Coach show will be on Tuesday, November 5th at 6 p.m. at the Tully's on the Vestal Parkway location. Join us as we preview Military Appreciation Night for the Black Bears and go in-depth about the matchup against Danville and Port Huron. Make sure to come on out with us at Tully's and have a good time with the Black Bears.
Did you miss out on history?
The Black Bears are divisional sub-champions!
Always make sure you have your spot reserved with Binghamton Black Bears season tickets. Season ticket holders can receive discounts, great added events, and so much more. Always make sure you have your spot reserved so you don't ever miss a second of Black Bears hockey. Stop by the third floor hockey offices at the arena or give us a call at 607-722-7367. Experience the new way to watch your Black Bears play all season long at home and on the road, free on YouTube. Hockey season is in full swing and the Black Bears are on the ice this Saturday, October 26th at 7 p.m. as they take on the Port Huron Prowlers. Get your tickets now at binghamtonblackbears.com or call the office at 607-722-7367. The next Tully's Good Times with Coach show will be on Tuesday, November 5th at 6 p.m. at the Tully's on the Vestal Parkway location. Join us as we preview Military Appreciation Night for the Black Bears and go in-depth about the matchup against Danville and Port Huron. Make sure to come on out with us at Tully's and have a good time with the Black Bears.
Welcome back into the Tully's Good Times with Coach Show. I want to thank both Cam Clark and Brant Sherwood for spending some time with us here tonight. Big shout out to Dave and the entire staff here at Tully's for taking care of us. Once again, friendly reminder, our next Tully's Good Times with Coach Show will be Tuesday, November 5th at 6 p.m. here at the Tully's on the Vestal Parkway location. A little bit of news and information for everybody to share and be aware of for this upcoming weekend. All right. Like Dakota Bond and Jamie Bussell, who were away for personal reasons this past weekend, I will be doing the same thing, and I will not be on the call this weekend for the Binghamton Black Bears. We're going to have Cole Parenti do the play-by-play both Friday and Saturday night. Alex Jones is going to be on the broadcast with Cole as the color commentator on Saturday night from the Vision Veterans Memorial Arena. Just wanted to get ahead of it, let everybody know everything is okay. Had a wedding on the schedule for a very long time with a best friend back home in North Carolina that I am going to be a groomsman in. So I'm going to go there, support my friend. I will be back the following week when the Black Bears take on Danbury at home on November 2nd. So we're just going to miss these two games this weekend. Cole is going to be doing his first solo broadcast on Friday night, and him and Alex will be handling the duties on Saturday as well. So wanted to give a big shout out to everybody who watches all of our broadcasts on YouTube. Give Cole plenty of words of encouragement. He's going to do great. Look forward to watching the game on replay on the flight back up here to New York. Going to be a great time. So for everybody helping out tonight, Cole has actually been running the ones and twos. Josh Williams with setting up and tearing down. and everybody else with the Binghamton Black Bears. My name is Brooks Hill signing off. Cole will talk to you on Friday night. I'll see everybody else next week.